What's going on, guys? Welcome back, and today I'm bringing you the next map in the Ultimate Map Guide series, and today we're going to be doing Villa as requested by one of you guys actually in the comments. So you guys hold actually a lot of weight, so if you guys want to see a specific map that I haven't done yet, please comment it. I'm going to get that out of the way. But yeah, so today, obviously, if you guys have never seen any of the Ultimate Map Guide videos, basically I walk through the defensive side and the attack side of each map, and I show you how to set up every single site. I teach you how to play that site that I told you how to set up, and then I give you the operators that are very good for that site, and I do that for every single all 4 sites on every single map. And then on the attack side, I'll show you guys what operators are good for each attacking site when you're attacking each site, and then I will show you guys what actual push strats with the operators you can actually do, and that are the best to give you a good that are the best to give you the best chance you can to win that site. So before we get into the video, make sure you guys go down into the description. My Twitch and my socials are linked down there. If you're interested in following me on anything else, I would greatly appreciate that. And then also hit the like and subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate all of that. You guys have been showing a lot of love recently, especially on the map guides, especially on on the cafe one that I just did. I greatly appreciate all of you guys for the love. And we're going to keep turning these out because I know you guys like these, and I like making them actually. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. All right, so we're first going to get into the defensive side of things, and the first side we're going to start with is 2F Games and Aviator. Now, this is probably the most common site, so a lot of people know how to play it, but I will run through the operators that I think are very good for the site and necessities. Starting with Mute. I'm gonna say it. I say it in literally every single one of my videos. Mute is so good. Like, you can bring Mute to every single site, and especially on this site where you can mute and where you can mute like study and like hold study, and then you can mute the single wall and vault and deny like ace from getting that open or them getting that open, and then also the drone hole, so they can't drone through there. Mute is so strong on this site. That's a must bring. Mute, I think, is a must bring on this site. Doc is going to be a great play on any site on this map. Doc is great. Velk is actually going to be very good. Intel's going to be very great, and you can put a lot of great Velk cams on this map. So Velk is very good. You can bring Bandit or Cade. I obviously, the way I'm going to show you how to set up site, you're not going to really need on 2 walls, but if you want to bring it for like games wall, like games wall, the double like right by bar, that would work. But it's not like a necessity. Jaeger's solid. Capcan is pretty decent. I feel like Tachanka might be solid, obviously, if you're preventing like default plant or plant Aviator. Capcan's pretty good. I get a lot of Capcan kills on this map. No C4 though. Echo, Intel, kind of like Velk. Mira, you can bring Mira for the Aviator wall, the double looking into study by the couch if you really want to. It's not like a necessity, but it is pretty good if you have a good Mira player. Or if you just like if you can play Mira as well, you know what I mean, and people can get around the site and play around it. Lesion, I would probably say is like is like close to a must pick. Just the trap operator, bro. Like Lesion, again, he's a lot like Mute, where like you're always gonna need an anti denial or intel denial, and a lot of time you're gonna pretty much all the time you're gonna need a trap operator, you know what I mean. So Lesion is very good. Vigil's good to roam statue trophy side. Maestro gets banned on this map a lot because he's so good, especially on this site, because you can put obviously your Maestro cam right above the hatch and study, and then break the hatch, and then they can't punch it or anything. You know, they have to use actual utility to get Maestro get the Evi off the thing. So Maestro is a very great play for this site. Because you can get like aces, Habanas off the walls with it. You can hurt people with it. It's really good. Moving on, I think Goyo's a really good play. He's gonna be a good play on every single site. I literally just got a kill yesterday running Capcan, and then my Capcan blew up, and then this dude died to a Goyo thing. So shout out Goyo. Moving on, Clash, I guess you can play study with her, isn't bad. I want to talk about Malusi, because you can put her things long hallways, especially like around 90. And if you're playing 90 or anything like that, or like playing close to any of the doors, and you hear it go off, you can swing off of it, and it's like free bread a lot of the time. So Malusi is very good, especially on that long hallway way. Aruni's pretty solid. Thunderbird's actually pretty good if you want to throw any of her things in vault, because it's how easy it is to get there. A lot Thunderbird is actually pretty good on this site. And then I'd say Azami is like another operator where it's kind of like you can must bring her if you want to hold study really well. If you know how to hold study with Azami, it's very, very strong. If you want to hold like main stairs with Azami, that's like some kind of like pro stuff. I feel like I don't usually play against that. When I did, the guy knew exactly what he was doing and he was locked in. So if you want to hold like main stairs with Azami, or if you want to hold elbow, a lot of those times you really need to know what you're doing, but they're very, very strong. So I'd suggest maybe learning those things. Fenrir is pretty good on this site. And then Scopos, if you can play it right, is good. So the must bring operators, I would say definitely I'd probably bring a mute. Doc isn't a bad play. I'd probably bring like Legion just for a trap operator because there's a lot of ways into the site. And then if you are gonna hold study or 90 or main stairs and you want to hold one of those, Azami is very, very, very good. So if you know how to play her right, I would definitely bring her. And then again, like if you want to help with the Azami, like elbow, you bring the Malusi because that can help a lot with Azami. And then again, like if you want to bring like a Jaeger Wamai to help Azami out, that would be pretty good. But yeah, so those are the operators that I think are very good for the site. Let's get into the site setup. All right, so moving on to the actual site setup and defense for Aviator games. I'm gonna walk through the site setup first. Obviously, I'm on mute. Mute is a very good operator for this map. I'll show you guys where you can put the mute. So I put like a mute here. You can put like a mute here. First reinforcement's gonna go right on this Aviator wall. A lot of people will reinforce both in lower elos. Just I feel like you should just open this and get used to playing like this, because if you like don't have any pressure and study from like an Azami or someone maybe like playing on a shield here or anything, they are just going to be able to take study unless you're holding it from this door or this door, which, you know, it's two ways. But if you have this, it's way easier to swing out and you can catch people by surprise holding there. That's where you would put your Mira also. A lot of people, you know, will play that right with Mira. Here's the default rotate into games, and then you want to reinforce obviously this hunting wall, this vault wall, and then you put one mute there. I like to reinforce this wall. It's just nice because you can play kind of close on this and you can kind of contest study while also, you know, being able to protect yourself and swing Aviator. Double reinforce this games wall. Again, I mean, you could maybe put a mirror. You could probably put a mirror here. But I usually just double reinforce it because we don't bring a mirror a lot. I'd usually make a line of sight here. You can just, obviously, it just helps to watch angles throughout the site. Then you want to, obviously, this is pretty default. You put these two reinforcements on these lines of walls, and then you shoot out the feet holes here. This is really key. If you guys aren't doing this, I mean, this is, you know, you got to be doing this. It just helps you hold this area just so much better. And then kind of, so that's like kind of that's pretty much the default setup for that site. Moving on to outer part of it, because you want to be holding the outer part of the site for sure. Like holding this main area where you can look into study and holding main stairs is pretty big. So if you want to hold this, you very much can. This is where you bring like an Azami. You can have an Azami watch this. You can have like a Warden watch this, maybe you know, you want to put like barbed wire, and then if you run like the Warden, obviously you're going to be able to withstand the flashes and stuff like that. You can bring like a Malusi for this to help you, Jaeger, whatever. So holding on to main stairs, and then like I said a lot of the time in the operator thing, holding on to study, those two areas are going to be huge. Holding on to this side of the map, because this map is like very like close to like the edge of the actual second floor, so holding the surrounding stuff is going to be very, very big, right? So holding, again, study main stairs is going to be very, very good as we make our way around. Holding elbow 90, whatever you want to call it, is going to be very, very big, right? Where, you know, you want to, obviously a lot of people are going to sit on this window, right, and try to get this wall. That's why you run mute. That's why you run, you know, Decayed, Bandit. But holding this, if you like bring a castle, you know, you can probably hold this with like a Zami. You bring like your Malusis, you put like a Malusi here. So then if anybody is like coming from, you know, this way, you know, you're able to swing out and kill them, or vice versa down here. So Malusi is very good, Azami very good. You want to hold this for sure, because if they can get this, they can easily get into vault. If they take 90 control, then it makes it just a lot harder for you guys, right, to attack that. And then also, I mean, you don't need to do a full extensive like hard roam, I guess, on this site, But I would, if you know what I mean. You can hold just like 90, you can hold just study and like main stairs. But if you really do want to venture out into this other site, into statue trophy, you can kind of do this like normal setup, just 2 reinforcements. You still have 1 left over with after like the default setup and stuff like that. You actually have 3 left over, so you can use 2 here, kind of set this up. This is how it's going to look statue trophy when I show you guys that site setup in literally just a couple minutes. And then you can kind of just roam over here. I mean, you don't really need much site setup other than like that. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. Really looking into it, that's the site setup. Again, looking into the port map control and actually how you want to hold this is going to be, obviously you want to hold the site, you want to have a good amount of people outside of site where you're kind of holding 90, you're holding study for sure, or at least if you're not directly holding study, you want to be putting pressure on it, so like you waste their time, right, sitting outside that balcony baiting you guys to come out. Like if you can waste a lot of time on this map, it's going to be very hard for them to walk in. So I think that's your key, you know what I mean. You want to hold angles, you want to be passively, you know, peeking, and you know, not throwing bodies at them, right? Because if you can keep body control, or even if it's like a 4v4, you know what I mean, with like 30 seconds left, who's gonna win? The defensive side, because what, they have to walk into study, and even then if they walk into study, at that point you hold the closed door, you know what I mean, you hold the vault thing. They have to come through this door, they have to come through doors, or they have to come through 3 doors basically, right? And these ones are even harder for them to come through because you have these down here, so it makes it harder for, like, if you're playing bar, right, and they're like coming around and they have to just run in, you can just shoot their feet, right? They're coming from 90, they find that you give up 90 control, like laying the round, you're coming around, you're shot, you know, you're dead, you kill the attacker. So it's very easy to hold this site. I think it's a lot of time, right? You know what I mean, you have to force them. You don't want to get too aggressive on this site, but even then, you know, it is a smaller map, so you do have to get aggressive at times. But if you can just win your gunfights, keep it pretty neutral numbers, this site is going to be pretty easy to win if you can play it well, you know, towards the end of the game, and be able to watch and win the ending gunfights when they're really in your favor. All right, next side we're going to move on to is going to be the other second floor, being statue and trophy. Now, the operators I would highly suggest for this, it's going to probably be a little bit different than the last site, but a good operator, pretty much you want to kind of hold a master on this, I would say, and then maybe kind of like aviator game side 90 again. Depends on who you're playing, but operators, I'd say mute's going to be a great one. Again, probably a little worse than how he is on Aviator, but mute's still strong. Castle's actually pretty good on this. I would say if you can set up castles the right way, especially like towards master, I think he's actually very, very solid. And even if you want to do like a kind of game side castle play, I think on it, or Aviator, sorry, that's still pretty good. So castle, I think, is a great play, better play on this than the other site. Again, Doc is going to be great on every single site. Maybe a Cav play. If if the team is super aggressive and doesn't drone, Cav would probably be good if you want to roam like downstairs more towards main entrance. Valk is gonna be very good. Yes, I like to run Frost a lot because you get the frost mats on every single like master jump in, and then also you get the deployable, which a lot of times you want to bring a deployable on this site for the statue door that leads into master. You can play off of that, or you can put it in astronomy, which works right by the globe, facing bathroom. But I would do the one, if you only have one, I would do the one in statue. Bandit's pretty good if you want to reinforce the triple wall, like 2 of them. I usually, like, obviously I'm going to show you guys how to make slits in one of them, or head holes in one of them, which helps. Capcan's good for the other site. Echo, always going to be a great play. You don't really need Mira here. You can put one on the triple wall, but I mean, Mira's kind of whatever on this site. Legion, always going to be great. Vigil going to be a great roamer. Maestro's pretty decent on this site. Not as strong as he is on Aviator. A lot of time he gets banned just because of how good he is on Aviator, but yeah, I guess you can bring Maestro here. Alibi, I guess, isn't like a horrible play. I never suggest Alibi, but I mean, I guess. Well, my decent. Goyo, always gonna be great operator to bring. Warden's gonna be very, very good. I kind of like putting, like, if you can bring like a Frost and maybe like a Warden. I feel like a lot of time you bring a Frost for a shield, but like Warden's very good because he gets SMG-12, he gets a shotgun. You bring the shield with him, then he can counter Yings and play into Master. So Warden is a very good play for here. I feel like Mozzie, honestly, I didn't bring him up last site, but he is pretty good for this map, honestly. Again, same thing with Cade with Bandit. Clash is decent, again, just by holding Master. Malusi is good, obviously, pretty good on every single site. Aruni solid. Thunderbird a little worse on this site. I forgot to say Thorn Balcony strat for Aviator games. Those who know, you can run her. Azami, again, Azami, you just kind of... Azami is actually good on this site because you can hold Trophy really well with her. So yeah, Azami is a really good pick, actually. Really good pick. Fenrir, great pick. And Scopos, again, if you know how to play Scopos, good pick. So the must brings, I'd say, it's not a lot for this site. I don't think there's a lot of like actual must bring operators because I think you can do a lot of miss and match. One I would say is definitely bring at least one shield. So whether you're bringing Frost or Warden, I'd bring one of these two operators, if not both, and just bring the shield. Like if Frost wants to bring the shield and Warden wants to bring a shield, or Warden wants to bring a C4, but Frost brings a shield. You know what I mean? Just like at least I'd probably have one shield. I would also probably, honestly, if you want to really hold Trophy like that, Azami is actually a great play. So I would probably suggest like Azami and a shield is really like the only things you like really need, honestly, for this site. Yeah, I mean, Malusi's good because there's a lot of hop-ins and like I mean, Malusi's good on this side. I don't know if I'd say Malusi. Like I'd probably bring like a Legion or a Malusi, and then I would add like a little bit. Like you can bring either or. It's not really end of the world, but then I would definitely bring a shield and probably a zombie if you want to lock down what's it called, Trophy, and then maybe a Goyo. So those are the operators you can bring for this site to maximize. Now let's get into the site setup. All right, so moving on to the statue and trophy defense and site setup, we're going to start inside of statue. Now, the only thing you really have to do inside a statue is first bring whatever shield. Again, like I would bring a shield. Highly recommend. I think it is a must on this. Put your shield here. This allows you to contest this like middle window. You can get like a little pixel. It allows you to contest this closet and just like all the master, obviously, and it like forces them to use utility on you, right? You know what I mean? Ash charge, they're going to use one of the ash charge on you, you know what I mean? And that's nice. Next, you want to double reinforce this. You want to make head holes here. Obviously, again, this is so you can contest this master bedroom because you don't want them to get this. And then moving into this, I want to go quickly onto this closet. Actually, you want to make head holes all across here just so you can see closet from, like, you can basically see the hop in, right? So if you're sitting close on here and playing this and someone tries to hop in, you're pretty much just gonna be able to see them and kill them every single time. So that's why this is so like necessary. And then also, if you really think about it, if you want to play close on bathroom and nobody's on there, you know, even back here you can play close and contest it from bathroom. So these are really great head holes. Reinforce the middle one and then feet holes here just in case. Obviously, you know, you can kind of swing out here if you need to and kill them. So that's bathroom, and then that's statue. Astronomy, you don't really need to do much. Obviously, you can play an Azami or a shield. You can put a shield like here, and then obviously watch it from here. You want to rotate here from astronomy into trophy. And then I do see people sometimes make head holes here, not head holes, but like up holes, just in case they need to like throw anything into astronomy, which you can do, or you can make head holes there, I guess. I would probably do that if you're gonna make any holes. And then moving into trophy, this is where like your Azami would play, hypothetically. Literally nothing in here. You don't have to do anything. I almost forgot this. Right in the connecting room in astronomy, pretty much. You either want to make feet holes here or like head holes. I usually make head holes. I'm not sure what the actual best way is, but just for some sort of like pressure, right, if they're downstairs. I don't think I've ever gotten a kill doing that, but it's really good. And then you can put like feet holes here, but just if you're putting feet holes, just like beware, you know what I mean, that this is open then, you know what I mean, and they're gonna be like they're gonna be looking through them if you make them too high, so just be aware of that. But oh my god, I thought I just saw someone. So basically how you play the site, right, with this setup is going to be kind of like keep them out of master, you know what I mean. You want to force them to you want to force it so if they're taking master, if at all, it's very late in the round. Because if they get master right, they can directly push right into statue. Like, say this shield's gone. They can push directly right into statue if they get master. And then if they get master, they'll have access to closet. And then that means they can kind of start pushing you from master bathroom. and then they can get in astronomy, and then guess what, they can hold, statue from astronomy, and then, eventually, make their way into said trophy, because that obviously getting master is the most generic. It's not, I'm not saying generic in a bad way. It's the most default take. I mean, not generic. I feel like generic was a bad word for that. It's the most default take, right? So obviously people will push from like landing and from aviator in games and like 90 and stuff like that, and up red stairs, but a lot of time they'll just take master, right? So make sure you're holding on a master as long as you can. Make sure you are applying some pressure on the roam, for sure. Just make, what you guys really need to do is you need to pin someone in astronomy just to watch these stairs. Make sure you have like barbed wire or something on these stairs in this window, and they honestly, they can contest, like they can be in astronomy and also like play up in bathroom. I think that would be like a really easy play. I would have someone definitely in trophy or around here just to watch like this window, because the people will try to push through this window. But having a line of defense, especially if you put your zombie in here, ooh, that's box. And then honestly, I'd have like one person kind of contesting this, not over swinging, but taking smart swings and like playing on there and then playing like on the shield depending on where they're peeking. And then honestly, I'd have the other two people off site roaming. One just like kind of patrolling. You can put him like 90 or that side, and then you can put your other guy like kind of deeper into like the study and like aviator site. I think honestly that's probably the best way you could play this in my eyes. Because you kind of have a little bit of everything. You have a top floor roam, then if they do end up pushing from like first floor up, you can your roamers can easily get over here to red stairs and double swing that from like the long angle and the short angle. And then you're also having 3 people on site, so you're still being able to definitely hold things. Just make sure the people on site aren't swinging too much and getting picked too early, because if they get picked too early, then one of the roamers is going to have to come back to site, so you can actually like keep the hold up that you want to. But yeah, so that is kind of how to play it. That's the site setup and everything for second floor statue and trophy. All right, so the next side we're going to be talking about is going to be first floor dining room and kitchen. Now, I'm not skipping library and living room. I'm just moving that to the 4th spot because this is probably like the 3rd most played site, and I like to do it kind of in order like that, where I do like the good sites first, and then like the last one I usually do is like the worst site. So next off for dining room kitchen, we're going to look at these operators. Now, basically this is a very small site, so you have to play it really well, I think, a lot of the time to win it. So first operator, mute. I think mute is going to be a must bring for this. I'm really looking at this like there's only one wall you have to really worry about in this, and it's going to be that kitchen single wall right by basement stairs in like the like freezer like pantry kind of area, where like the window, you open it and then like the window is just pointing directly into sight. You don't want that, you know what I mean? You don't want to give up that like line of sight. So I would bring a mute. I don't think it's worth it to bring a bandit or a cade for that one wall. So I think mute is perfect, and mute is really good on this site too, just kind of deny that entry, right? Next up, castle. I would low-key bring a castle. Castle is very, very strong in the site, especially, I don't know how it is like on other things, but especially when I play it, I find castles very good. You waste the utility, you hold off certain things for a while. Castle's really good, and basically, if you're gonna destroy a castle a lot of time, people are gonna full push that way, so then you can kind of focus your attention. So castle for sure is very good. I do like dock on the site. I say that every time. It's like a voice line. It's like a continuous voice line. I guess Velk is decent. I do like Jagger and Wamai on this. I think they're pretty good, especially if you want to hold like laundry. I think Jagger and that's very good because you can kind of hold that without giving anything up. Looking at Echo's pretty good. Mira's pretty, but Legion for sure. I'd bring a Legion. I like to bring Legion on this site a lot. I'm usually Castle or Legion on this site. Legion's just good because like it's a lot of doors that like people are gonna push through. So like if they get lesioned when they walk through the door, a lot of time it's gonna be like right into sight or whatever, and you can kind of just swing them easy. So like I guess Ella is good in that kind of way on this site for show. Vigil's good because you're gonna want an upstairs roam, which I'll talk about more in the actual next part. But yeah, Vigil's gonna be good to roam upstairs. Oriex, honestly, I feel like a lot of people run like Blackbeard on this site. Or I don't know if I'm being stupid, but like I get like a lot of teams on Villa, I think more is what I'm trying to say. A lot of teams on Villa will run like a shield, like a Blackbeard or like a Monty. especially in some of my games. So like just keep an eye out for Oryx for like any of the sites, because usually if they run a shield on one site, they're going to run it again. So Oryx is going to be a good play on any, especially with his buff. He is a lot better. Well, my same thing with Jagger. Goyo's very, very good. Just because a lot of, again, it's a lot of doorways into sight, and you can kind of cover it all. And he's just an insane, bro, insane operator. A lot of like people run Ying, like I run Ying a lot on dining room kitchen. So like Warden's actually a pretty decent play here. Cade, Clash. I mean, you can run Clash. Clash is actually decent. I feel like Clash is actually decent on a lot of these sites on this map. I think Clash is a very decent operator. Malusi's good again. A lot of doorways. Aruni, a lot of doorways. Azami, solid. Solid. I wouldn't say great. Solid. Fenrir is pretty good. And then again, like Skopos is very good. Is very good on this site on the first floor. I think if you can play her well, and on any first floor and on any like where site where you need like roam upstairs, or you can roam upstairs and they'll take vert, I think Scopeless is very good. But yeah, so those are the operators. Must brings, I'll run through them very quick. I'm gonna say Mute is pretty much a must bring. I think Castle's like iffy. It depends on how your team plays. I would bring some sort of trap operator. I would bring like probably like a Legion and a Malusi, or like at least one of them, I think would probably be great. And then like a roaming op, so like Vigil would be solid. Like Doc, I think you can roam with Doc, and kind of like that. But I think those are really the only operators that you really need. And then I guess you can maybe group Goyo into the really need, but again, like that's more preference at the end of the day. But yeah, Legion, Mute, Mute, and then a Legion or a Malusi or both, I think are probably the best ops that you can just kind of bring every single time. All right, so now moving into the site setup and defense for the actual dining room and kitchen site. So pretty much it is pretty much a pretty easy site setup, I would say. The first thing we'll talk about is going to be this laundry wall. You want to reinforce to the right side and put fields on the left side. Looking at it from this way, obviously from laundry it's left side, right side, but this just makes it so like they can't just like walk in and like shoot you here and like be covered. So it you know what I mean, so you want to put it on that side for sure. And then you're going to reinforce this one wall outside of Memorial and make it rotate on the right side, and then leave this side just like untouched. You don't really need to. Reinforce these two double walls in Memorial, and make sure to watch out, because I'm not like, make sure to watch out from this, because people will open this and then kind of look down in Memorial at you, or look into Memorial down at you. So just make sure you watch that. Moving into kitchen, reinforce this wall. Obviously, if you're Mute, you know what I mean, if you bring a Mute, I would bring a Mute. Just mute this. It's locks. Moving into China, I'm gonna reinforce the China wall. Middle, reinforce this dining room wall into China. Make head holes here and a rotate here. I just find this the best, you know, kind of way, because if you really think about it, if they're contesting kitchen or anything like that, you know what I mean, you're not always gonna be able to like go around, you know what I mean. So making a rotate here is really nice, because you can come around, swing kitchen, you can come out the back hallway. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole site. You don't really need to hold a lot of the first floor. I would have probably, this is gonna be a lot like Statue Trophy, where if you have 3 people anchoring the site, that'll be good, and then you put 2 people upstairs, obviously is gonna be probably the best. I actually didn't set up the wow, I usually set up all the sites before I actually talk about it, but setting up this site, the upstairs, this is really all you need to do. It's basically just the normal statue setup for the actual statue defense. So you're just gonna do this, head holes here, and then, you know, you have one person hold this, because obviously, like, you know, I'm always gonna stress vert, vert, vert. You need to protect vert on every single site you play. That is strongly, you know, if they get vert, you know, they're gonna succeed a lot of the time on the round. So make sure, I would say again, 2 people up here, 3 people on site. You have someone holding this master area. You can do the one thing where you open this and then you kind of can watch closet. But yeah, have someone roam over here, and then someone else can do like a light roam, you know, around landing and like 90, and make sure nobody comes from that way. But yeah, pretty much again, things you need to hold on this map is obviously upstairs, upstairs, upstairs. Make sure you're holding upstairs invert because it's very important on this site. And then make sure you're just kind of holding everything. I mean, there's not really anything to hold, right? Because, or it's not that. It's like not like a specific thing because some people will try to take like laundry, right? And they'll try to flush you out of laundry. A lot of time when they're doing laundry, they'll go upstairs. So number one thing, keep vert. If you can keep vert, it's going to be very, very good, beneficial late in the round and actually winning the round. And then make sure you watch out. Probably the second push that teams will do is they'll do like a memorial kind of a memorial sided push, memorial like a laundry where they'll push from this side of the map and kind of try to force their way into dining. So make sure you watch out for that. And then the other one they'll do is like kitchen. You know what I mean? Where you like open this and then they'll like kind of smoke it out and stuff like that. And then that's why like this rotates very, very good because it helps against that. So make sure you guys watch out for that. Again, run mute, run castle for that. And just watch out because I think it's gonna depend on what team you're playing because they're not gonna always do like it's not always gonna be like a super linear push. There's a lot of ways to push on this, but make sure again, I cannot stress it enough. I cannot say it enough. Vert, play vert. You should be good. You should be able to then if you can keep vert and push them late in the round and they have to like force their way in through these doorways and they don't have vert, you're gonna win probably like 100% of the time, I would say. All right, so for the last side we're gonna be talking about in this video for the defensive side is going to be first floor, living room, and library. Now, operator wise for this, I think it's pretty interesting. You're going to need probably like an upstairs presence. You're going to need a lot of trap operators. This is a big site, and you're also going to need things to push people out of certain positions because this is a site where like C4s are going to be good. Smoke's going to be good because there's a lot of plant spots on this map. So a lot of people would like get in. It's a big site. So a lot of time necessarily you might not know if they're planting or not. So yeah, so smoke I think is the first operator will lead it off. Just great anti-denial and anti-plant. Mute again. I'm not even gonna talk about mute. Castle I think is very good on this site. It's a big site, but like if you can like kind of maneuver around places and play out of the site and like kind of have a lot of misdirection, I think Castle's good if you want to do some extensions. I did see some video about some dude doing an extension with Castle on this site, which was it looked pretty good actually. So maybe I'll look at that more. But yeah, Castle's good if you want to play like kind of out of sight, especially because I feel like there's not a lot of ways like in and out of the site other than like doorways, but it's like easy to hold the doorways and like force you to go through places, especially in like what is that library. I think library is pretty hard to like kind of hang in, so I think Castle would be good there. Doc good any site. Cav if you can play Cav well, honestly. Okay, and then some sort of trap operator, like I'll talk about the trap operators like Frost, Legion, Ella, who else? Alibi, anybody with the proximity, and like Thorn, Fenrir. There is a spot in this site, Mudroom, where like you're gonna kind of need to have a trap for that. So for all those operators I just said are bringable, very bringable for this site. I think trap operators are gonna be very, very good for this site. So anybody I just mentioned is gonna be good. Echo, again, Echo is gonna be good on every site. You don't really need a Mira, I don't think, unless you're maybe holding upstairs. I guess if you want to do like kind of a nice upstairs hold or like a more of a like proer upstairs hold, you can probably bring a Mira and set it up like study. And then like Vigil's gonna be good on the roam because you're gonna want to roam on this map. Oryx if they have a shield for show. Goyo always great, always great. Again, always great. Warden I guess if they're bringing Ying or anything. Or a lot of people like will plant and they'll play smoke. So maybe Warden is actually a pretty good play I think for this site. Cade Bandit. You can bring them. I think they would be good actually, because people try to get like one of these triple walls, which I'll show you in living room. And I think if you bring one of those, I think it like shores it up. But maybe you can just bring a mute. Nah, actually, I'd just bring Bandit Arcade. That was kind of a copper moment from me. Bring mute. Oh my god. Malusi, I didn't include her in the trap operators, but for sure, Malusi's really good on this site. Honestly, Aruni's pretty good on this site. I didn't bring it up, but she's pretty good on the other first floor too. I think she's good on both first floors. Thorn. Not Thunderbird to a point. Azami's pretty good, making angles and one ways and kind of blocking off things, so the attackers have less lines of sight. is really good. So I would definitely say Malusi. And then again, with Malusi, I mean, equipment like Jaeger, Wamai, always going to be a great play with Malusi. Fenrir Chop, and then Scopos, if you can play Scopos good, is going to be great. So the must brings, I would say, to this site are probably going to be C4s for sure. So play ways to easily get people out of plant spots, I think, are going to be great. So like a Tachanka Smoke. I didn't say anything about Tachanka. Tachanka Smoke, C4. Some of those for sure. Definitely at least one or two trap operators. And then honestly, I would bring in Azami just because of just cutting off angles, because they can hold like main really easily and like have a good line of sight into sight. And then also like if they're in the hallway, they have a good line of sight into living room. So Azami's just gonna like make you be able to hold angles that you wouldn't be able to, and like block things off and like move more free in the site, because the site is really massive. So yeah, I would say Azami for sure is a very good play. Trap, Azami, and what else did I say? Trap, Azami, and then probably if you want some sort of wall, those are the operators you're gonna need to run for the site. All right, so moving into the defense and side setup for our last site. Obviously, again, I just want to stress that like you probably shouldn't go to the site. The other three are better, but it is always good to know and know the site setup in case you ever do end up going there. So we're gonna get straight into it. So library double, reinforce those both. And another thing for library is you want to make a rotate here. I think this is good because a lot of people try to sneak in there, and like if you don't have this open, then it's just gonna be hard to like kind of defend it. So even though they can get like a slight angle into the site, I think this is good. You can make it obviously a little bit smaller. I made it kind of big, but moving into gallery or like vault or whatever, I saw, I think what is his name, A Littleton. I saw him make a rotate here. I saw one of his site setup videos like a while ago, and I saw him make a rotate here, and I like actually get to show it off. But this is like a really good rotate because a lot of people like just get into like main entrance and like the main lobby and just like kind of hold you here. So honestly, you know what I mean, like having this rotate here lets you like rotate and have a little bit more free space. Like if you want to like maybe like castle this or something like that, or like reinforce it, and then you can like make a rotate here, or you can like kind of walk around into piano and stuff like that and contest it. It's very nice. And then a rotate obviously from gallery into living room. Moving into living room, there's not a lot you have to do. Make sure you just reinforce these three walls. This is kind of like the two library walls where it's like if they can just get in and plant from here. Make sure you reinforce these. They can just get in and plant right here. And then you pop this hatch. I don't know if I can do that, but yeah. So pretty much it's a very simple site setup for this. It's a very big site. Lot of lines like that they can plant in, you know what I mean? So that's why I was saying stuff with like the smoke to Chanka C4s, right? Because they can just get in through here, easily plant behind here. You have C4, you know, they can get in, plant here. You can play this close, C4. Just a lot of stuff, bro. Plant here. I get not really. This is the default plant too. Plant there. So a lot of C4s around to make sure you have anti-plant, you know, entry stuff going on with this site. But yeah, that's pretty much the default site. I mean, you can like kind of have extensions out, but I mean it is what it is, you know what I mean? That site is just kind of big. But the other thing I would say is make sure you're holding vert too. This is pretty much like all soft, so you want to be holding vert for sure on this site. Oops. But yeah, it's pretty much like every single site. The whole floor is soft, so you want to, again, I would say like 3 people on site, 2 people upstairs. I think that's a good ratio for this site, and especially for this map. I think it just works, you know what I mean? Like roaming wise, 3 people on site, 2 people holding out wherever. I think on everything but Aviator and games, I think that works. But especially on the first floors, that is very nice, where you can have someone kind of roaming this general place. You can put like the head holes this way and like reinforce this. You can, you know, or just play more like right above the site. I mean, just holding like a little bit off the upstairs site is pretty good. And stuff like that. So have 2 people kind of roaming. You know, they can both kind of roam in the same spot, or you can have like one person kind of roam over here, one person roam like statue and trophy, and you should be good to go. Again, I would advise not to go to this site. You know what I mean? if you like it, if you play good on it, you know what I mean, go full ahead. Don't let me like stop you. But I'm just saying, in my humble opinion and how we play and how I play, I think the other three sites are going to be just better, you know, and at the end of the day, no matter what. But if you like that site, there's a site set up for it in case you're ever there or, you know, need to know it. All right, so now we're going to be moving on to the attack side. And the first attack, we're obviously going to go just in order of how we did it on the defensive side. So the first attack we're going to talk about is Games Aviator. And now for Games Aviator, your two main attacks, the first one is going to be you're going to send like basically 3 4 guys, right? You're going to send them all backside, which is through statue and trophy. You're going to have them push through there, take top landing. You're going to have them take 90, and then you're going to try to get like the vault wall, and you're going to try to push through there. And you're going to try to push through Aviator, maybe default plant spot, you know what I mean, through the Aviator door, looking at top landing. You guys know what I'm talking about, behind the vault door. Or you're going to get the vault wall, push through vault wall, while pushing through Aviator. So that is one of them. And then you're going to send like a person or two just to pressure study in that side of the map so they don't get too comfortable, right? The other one is literally, it's just flipped, obviously. These are like the most default takes. Like, you sure you know what I'm talking about, where you're just going to take study. You're going to push through study Belk. You're going to push up main stairs. You're going to take that control of the map. You're going to bring like a hard breacher so you can breach the wall, make more entry points. And then you're going to have a light pressure on the other side of the map, which is going to be what you were attacking fully, with the other one being going through statue trophy, up red stairs, taking top landing, taking 90, and then kind of doing whatever you want from there. It's going to kind of be like, you just kind of have to like flood them from all sides, because honestly this site is really safe. So like making them uncomfortable in the site from all angles, it's what's really going to win it. So it just depends which side you really want to put more people in, I think, is what, you know, I think is the best. Operator wise, obviously wall, Ace, obviously Ace is going to be your guy. Therm is pretty good too. I don't really know which one's better between the two, honestly. It's kind of like depending on how what wall you're actually getting, if you're getting the vault wall, if you're getting the study walls. And really how you want to play it, I think, is depending on which one you bring. Make sure you bring EMPs. So if you're bringing a Thatcher, make sure you bringing, if you don't bring a Thatcher and you need to get the wall, I just bring a gridlock. Get the EMPs, plus you get the anti flank, which is going to be really great, especially if you're pushing it, like no matter what, either thing is stairs, or if they try to flank up through like astronomy and then they try to come in through like trophy or statue. You know what I mean? It's going to be great. Roam clear, if you need to roam clear, statue trophy. So that's going to be like Jackal, Dokkaebi, Deimos, all those kind of operators. And then at the end of the day, like, if you're pushing on main stairs, you're going to need to roam clear that. So those operators are going to be good for that. And then I'd say like plant wise, I think planting is really like huge on this site. So like Ying is going to be good. You get the Yings and the smokes, Capitao. Who else? Who else? I mean, that's pretty much it, right? I mean, for plant wise, yeah, I guess. I mean, oh, and Grim. That's what I was thinking of. I thought there was one more. So like Grim, you know, Grim, Yang, and Capital are going to be good if you are going for like an actual plant. You can play Buck from underneath. That's something else you can do. He's a solid operator. And then the last thing I want to bring up is this side is very like util heavy, whether they're bringing like an Azami or they're bringing the Maestro, or Malusi's brought a lot on this site, or like Veltcam's very prevalent. So every single drone operator, anti-clearing operator like that, Twitch, they bring Mira too. So like Twitch is a really good pick on this site. Bravo, really good pick on this site. Flores, really good pick on this site. All of them are very, very good picks. So, and then like Ash, you know what I mean? If you have to get the Maestros, or like, you know, Malusi's or whatever. So I think that pretty much sums it up. Grenades too are very good. So pretty much like every operator is good. You basically just want to have someone with a wall. You want to help someone get the wall. You want to have, if they are very util heavy, you want to have like a Brava or like a Flores or like a Twitch. If they have a Mirror, especially Twitch. And then you want to bring maybe like, I would say gridlock maybe for the anti-flank. And then if you need a roam clear, you bring roam clears. I think it's pretty self-explanatory with this site. So that's pretty much how you attack. You either attack one way, you attack the other way, you know, vice versa. More pressure on one side, a little less pressure on the other side, or you do more pressure on one side, then a little less pressure on the other side, and then you're able to kind of get in and plant and just basically suffocate them, clear the roamers, and try to suffocate the people in sight, and you should pretty much win every round on this site. All right, so moving into the other second floor site, statue and trophy. This is kind of the attack is kind of gonna mirror the other games in Aviator attack, where basically you're either pushing from a balcony that is outside of a room that is directly into sight, where if you take that map control, then you have an access straight into sight, just like it is in games Aviator, where if you're taking study, you take from study belk, you can pick study and then it's directly into sight. Or just like games Aviator attack, you are taking from for statue and trophy, you're taking the other bomb site. So this time, instead of taking statue and trophy to push games Aviator, you're taking games Aviator to push into statue trophy. I know it's like a mind boggle, just a lot of the same things being said, but pretty much I think it is really the same, where it depends on really what team you're playing and what push you guys kind of want to do, where which way do you want to send more of your people, right? Do you want to send more people on the games Aviator side to push from that way, while also having the pressure outside of master belk and master bedroom? Or do you want to have more people pushing master bedroom and pushing from there, because then you have the direct into sight at statue, and then have a little pressure coming from games Aviator? I'm sorry, this is like messing with my head. But yeah, so it's really up to you. I think a lot like this site again is, it's like there's not really a wrong play, right? Because the best thing you can do is really like just try to pick them off from outside of sight, and then when you can get into sight, you know what I mean, it's going to be easier, because you're pushing from every way, you know what I mean, and you're kind of suffocating them into sight, where you know what angles they have to hold. So looking at the operator line, um it's gonna be like a lot. Again, it's gonna be like a lot like roam clear like last time. So if you want to bring a Dokkaebi, a Deimos, a Jackal, those are gonna be great. Plant operators are gonna be great. Where you're bringing like again Capitao, Ying. I forgot Montaigne last time. I don't know how I forgot Monty. Grim is good. But yeah, a lot again, just like the other site. I feel like the sites again mirror each other a lot. Where like utility is pretty good on that site. Like there's a lot of utility. So like a Flores, a Brava, a Twitch, are gonna be very very good. Um, and I mean, that's pretty much all the operators you need to bring. I think at that point, then it's going to be just kind of like, what do you want to bring? You know what I mean? What operators are your teammates bringing? And then kind of go from there, right? I think, like, honestly, like, Blackbeard's really good play on this site. I didn't bring him up last time and in the last site, but, like, Blackbeard's really good. He's just like an initiator. You know what I mean? When Blackbeard gets in the building, like, you're like as a defender, like your main eyes and like priority is going to be on the Blackbeard and getting rid of the Blackbeard, because he can wreak so much havoc that, like, you know what I mean, if you get a Blackbeard to spearhead the attack and the push into whatever way you're going, master or whatever, that's going to be great, right? um I know I said utility, but for sure you want to bring like someone with nades, or like an Ash or anything like that, because shield wise, like people are gonna, like I told you guys, like bring a shield, because people are always gonna bring a shield on there. You know what I mean? They're pretty much always gonna have a shield. Like Frost is such a highly played operator on that site, so like having a shield is gonna be insane for the attackers. So like especially if you're taking master bedroom, right, and you get into master bedroom, or not even into master bedroom, if there's someone on a shield outside of statue, it's going to be so hard for you to take that site. I'm going to be completely honest. So make sure you're clearing that, because if you can clear that, take master bedroom, you can plant and get into site directly and plant. So I mean, I'm kind of yapping at this point, but yeah, I mean, make sure you're pushing from either one of those two ways, depending on who you're playing and how their play style is. A lot of the time, you can see how they're gonna play from Aviator, because they'll go there first and then they'll go statue next if they win. So it's just gonna be, what side do you want to overload more and put more pressure on, and then how can we get the plant down, suffocate them in sight to angles that we know they're gonna be on, and then vice versa, and then from that, not vice versa, from that you can win the round. All right, and then moving on into the first floor attacks. First one we're going to cover is going to be, again, dining room and kitchen easily. And pretty much, I just want to say, again, with all of these upstairs sites, I'm a big take top floor and move down. top down attacks. I think those are the easiest for like sites with vert, and I think if you are going to a site that has vert, especially sites like this where like the whole site is soft pretty much, and you're not taking vert, you're literally just like, I feel like you're just throwing chances away to win the round. Completely honest. That's just me being completely honest. Maybe I'm a little biased to vert, but it is what it is, right? So I think for this attack, especially, I think you take vert and then you can kind of, again, you take vert and then you can kind of decide where you want to go, right? Because a lot of the time, like if you take vert, right, and you roam clear, you take vert. A lot of the time, you can watch like the couch outside a library, right, and push people off of that. So then um, you can actually take laundry room, right? You can walk in because that's all covered and you can plant there. You know what I mean? And that's like a super easy thing you can do, right? Because you have that control up top. So like if anybody tries to get close, right, and stop the plant, you can stop it. Plus post plant, you have the upstairs. And then a lot of the time, like it's light like that. You know what I mean? It's light like that. And then a lot of time, like you're gonna if you actually successfully take top floor control, then what's gonna happen is they're gonna be down men, right? So they're gonna have to be like swinging more, getting more aggressive. So you're gonna be able to catch them on vert. So I think the best strategy and course of action is to take vert and then try to plant somehow. Push through memorial and try to plant. Push through, laundry, try to plant. Maybe push through kitchen, try to plant. Just one of those, I think, is probably the best way and probably easiest way that you can actually win the rounds. That doesn't, it doesn't require a lot of coordination, bro. All it does is it requires taking vert and then kind of just pushing in with operators that are going to help you plant. So I'm looking at like vert operators, sledge, buck, ram. Obviously, you don't really need to get a hatch on this, so like you can just run buck and be locked. I do like ram on this though. But with the nades too now that sledge has, because buck doesn't have like hard breaches, even though you don't need hard breaches on this, sledge is gonna be a very good pick. Clearing utility, obviously in Mira is not gonna be very, very prevalent. But like, okay, clearing upstairs, right? Blackbeard, great operator to help do that. Dokkaebi, again. Jackal, again. Deimos, again. Great, 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 great. All those operators. Playing vert. You can bring like two vert guys, like I'd said. Buck, Sledge, Ram. Um, Blackbeard, yup. Clear utility if you need to. Castles and stuff. Bravas. A lot of the time Castle is brought, so like Flores is a pretty good play, and even if he's not brought, I think Flores is always going to be a great play because they're going to bring like chops and stuff. So like I would say probably the best operators to bring on this are going to be or the operators you need to, like a necessity is you want to bring Vert, whoever that is, it's up to you. Some roam clear at least, where you bring like a Blackbeard, Dokkaebi, Jackal, or like a Deimos. You're bringing like a Flores if you need to clear util, and then you're bringing people to help you plant. I think that's all you really need on this site, right? It's very simple, right? Take the top. That's the hardest part. It sounds a lot easier than said, but you take the top floor, and then if you have the operators and have the men, it should be pretty easy to plant. Just make sure you watch out for C4s. So bring your Grims. Grims very helpful to plant. Bring your Monties if you need to. Capital, Yings, all of that nature. Take top down, plant the bomb. Easy as that. You should win a lot of the rounds. And the last bit of things that we have to cover, that's crazy. We went through all this. If you made it this far, like and subscribe, and I appreciate you. But the last site on the operators, the last site we're going to talk about is all the way at the bottom. Actually, it's the third last. Wow, I have no map knowledge. Living room library. Again, like I said, and like everybody knows, if you even play Siege, nobody really goes here. But it's still good to know how to attack and defend things, just in case. Because what if they just like pull this out? Like for first defensive round, first round of the game, you have to go against this, and you just don't know how to attack it. You don't know. You don't know. You're cooked. So again, this is a lot like the other first floor, and a lot like a lot of obviously vert things. Top down. That's the easiest thing for this. Top down. Take the top. Take that. And I think this like site is a lot better for taking top down and then planting than the other site, because what you can do is like you take the top floor, you're able to watch it, push people into predictable spots where you know they're going to be and station up, right? And then what you can do is you can get that triple wall in living room that I talked about, get that, plant behind cover, boom. easy. Or what? You get the double wall in library, push into there, default plant, easy. So taking vert, planting, I think is probably the best course of action. This site kind of sucks. So like if you are really strategic in how you play, a lot of the time it's just gonna work out because the site's not that great, to be completely honest. So again, I mean operate. It's gonna be a lot of the same, right? We're gonna look through it. I'm just gonna go in a row. Sledge, buck, ram, vert. There you go. Oh, how are we gonna get vert? Oh, we need some realm clears. Jackal, Blackbeard, Dokkaebi, Deimos. There we go. Oh, okay, we need to get the wall, right? Oh, thermite. Great. Bring thermite, please. They're big walls. You don't need ace. Just bring thermite. Oh, we need to help get the wall. Okay. Gridlock, Thatcher. Oh, but if we want to bring, anti-flank. Oh, here's Gridlock. There we go. Oh, do we want, someone to plant the bomb? Oh, let's bring a Monty. You know what I mean? He has smokes. We can do that. Capitao, you know what I mean? Grim, all these guys, you know what I mean? It's pretty predictable, you know what I mean? It's just build your team from like the couple things that you need, you know what I mean? It's as easy as that, bro. It is really as easy. It is as easy as that. It's obviously a lot harder to roam clear and then really execute that. But like, bro, at the end of the day, if you can't roam clear, take vert, and then open a wall and plant, I mean, a lot of time obviously it's hard, I get it sometimes, but if you really think about it and just go in with it with that mentality that it's that simple and like follow the steps, top, take the top floor, then we can focus down, move down, get the wall open, make sure everything's good, go plant, play post plant on vert, and then down below, right? You know what I mean? It is as simple as that. It is really that easy, especially on this site. I think with this site just kind of sucking for defenders, I think like again, if you can play this with any kind of brain and like have a man advantage, or not a man advantage, or it still be like an even man advantage, if you once you take top floor, I think you're in a very, very good spot. So yeah, that is how to attack the I forget it a lot, living room library on Villa. All right, so that's gonna be all for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy this one as much as I did making it for all of you guys. I hope you guys know how to play Villa now a little bit better than you did before, or if you don't know how to play it at all, I hope you know how to play it all. I hope you know how to play it now. Again, if you guys want to see any specific maps in this like ultimate map guide series, I'm kind of just following like my own pattern of what maps like I kind of want to do next. But if any of you guys have a preference, please comment it down below. I'll cook that one up straight for you guys because I'm gonna end up doing every map. But it's, if you want a map sooner, make sure you let me know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, Twitch is in the description with all my socials, and make sure if you did enjoy the video and you stayed to the end, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button. I would greatly, 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 greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.